Good morning, everybody. My name is Justine Mora. Welcome to our service. I hope you all are doing really well and having a good start to your Mother's Day. Today I will be reading the opening words, which are a series of Mother's Day quotes. Motherhood is the exquisite inconvenience of being another person's everything. From Unknown. Only mothers can think of the future because they give birth to it and their children. Maxim Groski. To describe my mother would be to write about a hurricane in its perfect power. Maya Angelou. Motherhood is the biggest gamble in the world. It is the glorious life force. It's huge and scary. Gilda Radner. A mother's hug lasts long after she lets go. Unknown. The art of mothering is to teach the art of living to children. Elaine Hefner. Nothing is really lost until your mom can't find it. Unknown. Sooner or later, we all quote our mothers. Unknown. Mother is a verb. It's something you do, not just who you are. Cheryl Lacey Donovan.
Once again, we welcome you to the digital space of the First Unitarian Universalist Church of Lubbock. We are a religious community of free minds, and all are welcome to join us. All are welcome. All colors of the rainbow are welcome. Whatever definitions you've given yourself and whatever designations you've been given by others, you are welcome. Central to our identity as Unitarian Universalists is the concept of the free pulpit and the free pew. The free pulpit means our speaker can speak the truth as she or he sees it. The free pew means that we as members are not required to agree with everything we hear. Unitarian Universalism draws from many sources and faith traditions. Our services are varied and diverse, as is our lay-led community. I hope that some elements of the service comfort you and that you will be open to new experiences. If an element of the service does not appeal to you, then rejoice that someone else might be touched by it. I am Gail Madison, and I am your service leader today. Please take a moment to think about the people you love. Now reach out today. Call, text, email, video chat with someone for your mental health and for theirs. Each week we light a flame in our chalice as a symbol of our history and to celebrate our freedom of religious expression. Jennifer Mora will light the chalice today. Our chalice lighting words. Mother's Day Chalice by Claudine Oliva. We light this chalice for mothers and mothering, to celebrate those who have taken on the task of nurturing a young one, baby, child, or youth, into adulthood. To celebrate those who have nourished the light of truth and compassion in growing minds and hearts. To celebrate those who committed time, money, energy to the growth of others in this world. We light this chalice to celebrate and hold dear this flame of love. Since times are strange, and I know that we all have joys and many concerns, Jennifer will now place a stone in our community candle plate. And that's a stone for me and for all of you at home to celebrate our joys. And then she's going to place a second stone for everything that is going on in the world right now. And judging from what's going on in the world right now, that was a very appropriate response. We appreciate it. Life is very different right now. But the church does continue to function. Staff continues to work, so please keep up with your pledges. You can mail the pledges in, or there is a way to donate on the church webpage. For those of you who are computer literate, which means I mail ours in. We're now going to have a children's story, Under the Silvery Moon, by Colleen Mcgowan, a mother and a baby.
Under the Silvery Moon by Colleen Mcgowan. The stars were shining brightly. Little kitten was in bed, but he sat up still wide awake. "Sleep now," his mother said. "But it's so noisy, I can't sleep," said Kitten with a sigh. "It's just our friend," said Mother Cat. "They're waking up nearby." The tiny mice are playing. They explore the barn at night. They skimp and scamper here and there beneath the warm lamplight. "Hush, Kitten, can you hear it? That shuffling, snuffling sound? The hedgehogs look for food to eat along the moonlit ground." "That cry you hear so loud and long, that distant haunting tune, belongs to Fox who's up at night. He's calling to the moon." Around us swirls a summer song. It's whispered through the trees. The evening wind is blowing through the softly rustling leaves. Beyond the midnight meadow, where the air is soft and cool, the frogs are gently croaking all around the moonlit pool. Some creatures are not stirring, they do not make a peep. Like us, they've had a busy day, and now they're fast asleep. The badgers stretch their sturdy legs and blink into the dark. "Good evening," they are calling, with a deep and playful bark. I think that'd be prairie dogs. The nimble hares are dancing, their paws thump on the ground. With joyful leaps they chase their tails and spring and dart around. Something quiet and gentle lights up the dark night skies. Glowing warm and lovely are the dreamy fireflies. Owl is hooting softly across the stars she glides. Soaring home toward the barn, upon the wind she rides. And you see, my little one, there's nothing you should fear. Our friends' nighttime adventures are all that you can hear. Little Kitten closed his eyes and hugged his mother tight. "It's time you went to sleep," she purred. "Sweet dreams, my love. Good night."
So we just had a mother read aloud, and in response to that, we have a poem for today. And it's called "When Mothers Read Aloud" by an unknown author. When mothers read aloud, the past seems real as every day. I hear the tramp of armies vast. I see the spears and lances cast. I join the thrilling fray, brave knights and ladies fair and proud. I meet when mothers read aloud. When mother reads aloud, far lands seem very near and true. I cross the desert's gleaming sands, or hunt the jungle's prowling bands. Or, said the ocean blue, far heights whose peaks the clawed mist shrouds, I scale when mother reads aloud. When mother reads aloud, I long for noble deeds to do. To help the right, redress the wrong. It seems so easy to be so strong, so simple to be true. Oh, thick and fast the visions crowd my eyes when mother reads aloud. Thank you.
We are celebrating Mother's Day. I have some material from an article by Michelle Richards, who wrote a book called Tending the Flame, The Art of Unitarian Universalist Parenting. The history of Mother's Day goes way back. Ancient Greeks and Romans who held festivals in honor of the mother goddesses Rhea and Sibyl. But the clearest modern precedent for Mother's Day is the early Christian festival known as Mothering Sunday. Once a major tradition in the UK and parts of Europe, this celebration fell on the fourth Sunday in Lent and was originally seen as a time when the faithful would return to their mother church, the main church in the vicinity of their home, for a special service. Over time, Mothering Sunday traditions shifted into a more secular holiday, and children would present their mothers with flowers and other tokens of appreciation. This custom eventually faded in popularity before merging with the American Mother's Day in the 30s and 40s. The origins of Mother's Day as celebrated in the U.S. date back to the 19th century. In the years before the Civil War, Anne Rees Jarvis of what would become West Virginia helped start Mother's Day work clubs to teach local women how to properly care for their children. These clubs later became a unifying force in a region of the country still divided by the Civil War. Remember I said became West Virginia, and that happened because of the Civil War. In 1868, Jarvis organized Mother's Friendship Day, at which mothers gathered with former Union and Confederate soldiers to promote reconciliation. Another precursor to Mother's Day came from the abolitionist and suffragette Julia Ward Howe. In 1870, Howe wrote the Mother's Day Proclamation, a call to action that asked mothers to unite in promoting world peace. In 1873, Howe campaigned for Mother's Peace Day to be celebrated every June 2nd. Other early Mother's Day pioneers include Juliet Calhoun Blakely, a temperance activist who inspired a local Mother's Day in Albion, Michigan in the 1870s. The duo of Mary Towell Sassine and Frank Herring. Meanwhile, both worked to organize a Mother's Day in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and some have even called Herring the father of Mother's Day. The official Mother's Day holiday arose in the 1900s as a result of the efforts of Anna Jarvis, daughter of Anne Reeves Jarvis. Following her mother's death in 1905, Anna Jarvis conceived of Mother's Day as a way of honoring the sacrifices mothers make for their children. After gaining financial backing from a Philadelphia department store owner named John Wanamaker in May of 1908, she organized the first official Mother's Day celebration at a Methodist church in Grafton, West Virginia. That same day also saw thousands of people attend a Mother's Day event at one of Wanamaker's retail stores in Philadelphia. Following the success of her first Mother's Day, Jarvis, who remained unmarried and childless her whole life, resolved to see her holiday added to the national calendar. Arguing that American holidays were biased toward male achievements, she started a massive letter-writing campaign to newspapers and prominent politicians, urging the adoption of a special day honoring motherhood. By 1912, many states, towns, and churches had adopted Mother's Day as an annual holiday, and Jarvis had established the Mother's Day International Association to help promote her cause. Her persistence paid off in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed a measure officially establishing the second Sunday in May as Mother's Day. Now, as Unitarian Universalist parents, we celebrate diversity, and while we feel it is important for mothers to be honored for all that they do, we also recognize that in celebrating this holiday, we can possibly marginalize others. That gives us the awesome responsibility of helping the next generation understand that in celebrating motherhood, all who mother deserve to be celebrated. This stretches our thinking of motherhood in all of its forms, reminding us that not only are women who have adopted children mothers, so are women of all colors and ethnic backgrounds. women trapped by systemic poverty, and women who are legally separated from their children or incarcerated. Likewise, many of those who identify as transgender, genderqueer, or lesbian are also mothers. This is a natural and helpful framework for Unitarian Universalists to celebrate Mother's Day, and at the same time bring awareness to the oppression experienced by families in marginalized communities. This is especially the case for immigrant families who live in fear of their parents being deported or suffering under a 5-year ban in health care access. Or, possibly most devastating, what is happening at our southern border. Depending upon the age of your child, there are different ways you can do this, but they all involve exploring the true meaning of the holiday and what it means to mother someone. Even young children can talk about what mothers do and what it means to be a mother, and then stretch their idea of what a mother is and looks like through conversation and by seeing pictures of people who are mothers but don't fit the stereotype. Now, we come to Mother's Day 2020. Celebrating mothers in the midst of a pandemic. Normal is no longer normal. And yet we still depend on family, on moms, dads, kids, grandparents. What is family like now? Jennifer, Justine, and Archer Mora are here to tell us their story.
Hello. So as you know, we've just appreciated our mothers, but now it's time to appreciate us talking about our lives. Basically, I wish I could say that my life has been better since the coronavirus and the quarantine stuff. I wish I could say that I've picked up on many new hobbies and making homemade face masks and recipes, but it's kind of hard to do that, which leads me to my self-motivation. I, as well as many other people, probably have had a hard time with self-motivating. Sometimes I'll tell myself to get up early in the morning, to cook breakfast, to do many things, and I just don't. Another problem that I've been having is my preparation. Next year I'm going to be taking my SAT. I'll be a junior in high school. And what I think is hard about that is that my online school doesn't prepare me to have a lot of the information that I'll need in the future. Some good things that have happened is that I've had a lot more time with my dogs, I've been outside a lot more, and, well, I have been missing my friends, but other than that, I've just been sleeping in a lot.
So, thank you, Justine. That was a lot of the points she made also fall into my life, but I also want to talk about motivation and how hard it is to really get into routine and get myself the willpower to really try to make a difference or whatever recipe or experiment I want to do. But I think that give it a week and I'll fall into something, and I hope you guys also fall into some routine that you guys enjoy. But with school and the whole online thing, it's been a little difficult trying to adjust to it, even though I've been online for many years now and have worked with it. But still having to adjust to not being able to actually speak with teachers and other students and interact with them face to face presents challenges that I didn't really think were there in the first place. And it brings me to this realization that all these small interactions with acquaintances, coworkers, students, random people on the street really made an impact on my life that I really didn't know was there in the first place. And it just kind of hit me that that's really what made my day unique in every way, was all those small little interactions. And yes, I do have a lot more interaction online with my close friends and close family, but I really do wish that I could have those small little slice of lives back in my days. And And that's really it. I just hope you guys have a good quarantine.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jennifer Mora, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what my experience has been during the pandemic. It started with extending spring break, and that seemed nice at first, and then it was extending it again, and then longer. And then all of a sudden having to navigate the distance learning and the technology challenges, the never-ending string of emails and web links and how-tos. And work required me to go to the office as an essential employee and maintain order. And while my husband's small business was closed, he would spend long days every day, and still does, working on online sales, curbside service, and deliveries. The teenagers were given lectures and advice on how to manage their new independence and left on their own. Our village of teachers and mentors, friends and family became long-distance relationships. I focused on the groceries and the supplies and trying to create some framework of organization and hoping, like most, that things would soon return to normal. I tried to focus on the positive things and how to create balance in our lives. We were successful at times. I enjoyed exploring our city together, going on nature walks, visiting parks, giving driving lessons, cooking together, watching movies, playing games, sharing social media and memes together, conference calls with family, learning new skills, playtime with our puppies, lunchtime visits to the kids, and having some extra helping hands around the house. A hammock was purchased, some extra flowers, and our space was made homier. But at times we didn't succeed. Together at home we were often apart, chores weren't done, and homework was not submitted. Relationships apart could not be nurtured and suffered. Financial burdens increased. Worries were always there somewhere. Was I doing enough? Are they safe? Should I be home? What effect would this have on my children's socialization, physical and mental health, and their education in the future? I felt my inadequacies more acutely. Comparing my basic meals, entertainment, life skills to others at times. Even though everything was closed, there was so much to do: online learning, live music, theater, opera, virtual tours, Zoom groups that I still find I lack time and scheduling to manage. As the city opens back up and there are new challenges to face, requests for spending time with friends and going to birthday parties, and having to decide if even small group activities are reasonably safe. Our structured summer activities have been canceled and nothing yet to fill their place. I've been comforted that in this shared experience, we're all in this together, that everyone, at least, we are not going through it alone. And I'm grateful that I have during a time what I need when so many are truly suffering and sacrificing. And it's been heartening to see people reach out to one another and do what they can to help. The small kindnesses, making sure everybody else has what they need and sharing what they have. I like to go see the families in the parks more than there ever used to be, and seeing that being enjoyed together and seeing what we have right in front of us, to appreciate that. I'm looking forward to reuniting with my beloved community here, to my friends and family that have helped me raise my wonderful children. I miss our teachers, our family, giving hugs. Hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. I wish you all a very happy Mother's Day and the very best.
So now we have a feel for what families are going through during this time. It is a very strange and difficult time. I think Jennifer did an outstanding job of giving us a not only a picture, but a feel for what it's like to be a parent, a worker, the spouse of a small business person, and in the midst of a quarantine. Justine let us know, when you're a teenager, it is really hard to get motivated if you're at home and you're stuck at home. And one of the things that Archer mentioned that really hit home with me is And because I've been a teacher, all of the interactions that go on in a real live classroom where kids are looking at each other, they're nodding, they're talking with the teacher, that creates a true learning experience. And as Archer pointed out, even more so, you walk down the hallway at school and you see a kid. That's a wonderful interaction that may possibly create some great ideas. And we are missing out on all of that right now. And it's hard. So, before I do the closing words, I'm going to take a bit of privilege right here, because I am also a mother. See this book? I probably bought this book at a Friends of the Library sale in about 1974. I would have taken my 3-year-old with me. We paid 15 cents for the book. He helped decorate it. While I was looking for a book for the children's story, I ran across this past week and took pictures of it and sent them off to my son. And he wrote back, "You know, I remember going to at least one Friends of the Library sale with you, Mom. It was in a one-story brick building, Eastish sort of, and we went in and you said I could pick out books. That was a wonderful day." And he's correct, because at that time the library was across from Lubbock High. Reading to children, particularly young children, is an important part of being a parent, and was a very important part of what we did as parents. That's why, for the closing words, I'm going to reread the last verse of the poem that Archer read for us, When Mother Reads Aloud. When Mother reads aloud, I long for noble deeds to do, to help the right, redress the wrong, so simple to be true. Oh, thick and fast the visions crowd my eyes when Mother reads aloud. Now, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Go in peace.